If we're below a declining 21 EMA, it's probably better to be less active, more cash heavy, less, taking less risky trades, overall taking less risk. And once we get above a rising 21 EMA after a pullback correction, that's the time to really get more aggressive as a position trader, as a swing trader. And just the simple technique can save you a lot of, headaches and all of that, a lot of frustration, and hopefully preserve your capital as well. And up above the Deepvue Market Trend Indicator, I've got the Deepvue Stage Analysis Indicator, which basically incorporates Stan Weinstein's Stage Analysis methodology to track the overall stages of the market. Are we in an uptrend, topping phase, decline, or stage one basing stage? There's two different ways of thinking. There's high level analysis, top down analysis, and then there's bottoms up analysis. I personally do a mixture of both and kind of get that holistic perspective of the market health, because sometimes the market indexes mask a lot of weakness. Sometimes the stocks, break down a lot earlier than the indexes. So it gives you kind of an early warning signal. I would encourage you to kind of create a routine that allows you to do both. But again, if your time is limited, the top-down analysis is definitely easier to review, and it'll do a great job of giving you that high-level overview of the market health. All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Deepvue tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about how to analyze market conditions. And for those of you who work full time and maybe don't have too much time on your hands to go through, every single stock in the market, I've got a few tips and tricks that can really speed up this process and hopefully save you a lot of time and money by avoiding nasty corrections like the one we're currently in. So we're basically going to go through this market monitor dashboard, which I have set up here in the Deepvue platform, talk through the many different elements here, how I put everything together, and get a holistic perspective on the market health very quickly every single day. All right, so first things first, this is a dashboard here in the Deepvue platform. I'll show you how to actually set this up later on in the tutorial, but first things first, we're going to kind of talk through each of the different elements, both from the indicator level, the index level, as well as how I go through some different indexes that I watch, as well as the liquid mega caps, and use that to kind of gain my perspective on the market health. So first things first, and if you just want a very simple tip and trick with regards to analyzing market conditions, is this moving average right here, the 21 EMA. I picked this up from Mike Webster, and basically if we are below a declining 21 EMA on the QQQ, which gives a good sense of how kind of tech stocks are doing in the market, if we're below a declining 21 EMA, it's probably better to be less active, more cash heavy, less, taking less risky trades, overall taking less risk. And once we get above a rising 21 EMA after a pullback correction, that's the time to really get more aggressive as a position trader, as a swing trader. And just the simple technique of being more aggressive above a rising 21 EMA and more defensive when we break below it can save you a lot of, headaches and all of that, a lot of frustration, and hopefully preserve your capital as well. And that's actually what this indicator right here at the top, the Deepvue Market Trend Proprietary Indicator, does, is it basically plots based on colors whether we're above or below a key moving average of your choice. So in the settings here, if we click this gear icon, I currently have it set to the QQQ, the 21 EMA. So that's why it's blue when we're above a rising 21 EMA and red when we're below it. And you can set it to a moving average, adjust styling as well. And just going back in history, just using this simple tip and trick, it will help you avoid the major corrections, the big moves down, and get you involved in the strong uptrends like we saw in this area. Very similar to this market trend indicator is a little bit of a different variation, the market cycle indicator, which basically plots and adds a single day for every day we're above a certain moving average. So also in this indicator, you've got the 21 EMA, that's what I have it set to. You could also use the SPY, the IWM, whatever index you prefer, as well as whatever moving average you prefer. Some people like to use maybe the 5 SMA if you're more short term. You can do that as well, get kind of shorter term market cycles. But for me, for my style, for swing trading, position trading, can slim type trading, I find that the 21 EMA works pretty darn well. And like I said, as soon as we break above the 21 EMA, we start adding days to the market cycle. So you can kind of get a nice visual about how long the cycle's been going on for and how quick the fluctuations are. If we're chopping up and down, starting uptrends, downtrends, all of that, again, less is more during those periods. But when we're in nice solid uptrends and, we've been in it for a few days, it's time to get a little bit more aggressive and try to get the most out of that trend until we break below this key indicator. Again, the 21 EMA and both of these indicators are just kind of guides. We also want to, analyze the current market conditions by analyzing the rest of the market, including the leading themes, the key stocks, the market leaders. But if you just want a quick visual way of determining, net, should I be aggressive or defensive in this market environment, the 21 EMA and these two derivatives of that moving average are a pretty darn good way to get, just a 5-minute view of the market health, and it will protect you from, the worst of the declines and get you involved in the strongest market periods. So that's those two indicators. And I would only kind of use one of these just because I have them both added to my chart. They're just kind of there for explanation purposes. I would choose one and stick with it, whether you like just a more simple color code or you like to see the number of, days in that market cycle as well. Choose one and kind of stick with it. Down here, I've got Deepvue net new highs, new lows. So this is a measure of breadth. And if I go into the settings here, I've got set to USA, which combines NYSE, NASDAQ, and AMEX. And this gives a great view of kind of the internals of the market. Net, are we seeing more expansion, new highs, or are we kind of deteriorating, breaking below moving averages, making more lows than new highs? This gives a really nice sense of that. And during the strongest market periods, we'll see new highs really accelerate. And during worse market conditions, we'll start to see a lot more net new lows, and fluctuations and extremes can be a sign as well that you can take note of. So really handy breadth indicator here that kind of complements the overall analysis, high level analysis of the market indexes. Another breadth indicator that I have is the stocks above the 40 SMA on the NYSE. This gives a sense of, the short-term fluctuations. Are more stocks in the NYSE above or below their 40-day moving averages? This is basically the percentage level. So right now we're about 54%. Back in this area when we were trending, it was more like this level right here, around 66%. So this gives you a sense of, again, the fluctuations in breadth. Are more stocks trending above or below their moving averages? And this is basically one of the indicators we have. If you go ahead and type in stocks above, you can see we've also got the 200 SMA on a USA basis, the 50 SMA on the USA basis. So you can choose those as well, whatever kind of best fits your time frame. And to add it below your charts, what you want to do is click this icon right here, the compare or add symbol. And then again, just type in SA to bring those up, and then you can add them. Let's go ahead and do a new pane with a 200 SMA version. So this can be a really good measure of breadth and also kind of show extremes as well. Right now on the 200 SMA version, we got down pretty darn close to where we were back during this pretty significant correction in 2023. So that can be a level to watch and potentially watch for the formation of some type of market bottom or, key local bottom. So that's the breadth indicators, definitely a useful addition. So you're not just looking at the market indexes, but also taking a look very quickly and simply at the internals of the market as well. Up above the Deepvue Market Trend Indicator, I've got the Deepvue Stage Analysis Indicator, which basically incorporates Stan Weinstein's stage analysis methodology to track the overall stages of the market. Are we in an uptrend, topping phase, decline, or stage one basing stage? And this works both on a weekly as well as daily basis automatically when you switch between those different time frames. And net, just kind of like this faster one with the 21 EMA, we want to be involved when we're in a nice stage two uptrend in green. And then when things get more choppy, transition to a yellow phase, which corresponds to the stage three, we want to be pressing on the brakes a little bit. And when we get into the red version, that suggests that there's more deterioration in the market and potentially entering a stage four. And this works on individual stocks as well, not just the market indexes, but it's a good kind of high level overview. Again, what's the longer term trend of the market? That's what institutions are creating. And we definitely want to be paying attention to that as well. So that's kind of my chart setup in terms of this market monitor dashboard. Again, it gives me a sense of the indexes as well as some key breadth metrics and trend indicators. And I like to take a look at a variety of different indexes. I like to look at the QQQ, SPY, which often looks very similar, IBIT to get a kind of proxy of Bitcoin and crypto, as well as take a look at IWM, which gives me a sense of kind of what the smaller cap names are doing. And I look for divergences between the QQQ, IWM, and, are mega caps stronger, are, mid cap stronger, are small cap stronger, gives you a sense of the rotation within the market. So I like to take a look at all those different indexes on a daily basis, and it just takes, space barring through very quickly. And I like to use that 21 EMA again as a guide. Are we above or below it? Are we rising or falling? and how are those different size companies comparing in the market. So this is a really nice, handy setup. This is just a watch list preset. We've got ones for index ETFs, and then we also have ones for liquid mega cap. And after I'm done with my market indexes, I transition down here to these mega caps. And the reason I do this is because, these are the places where institutions go to hide. This is where, they must own these companies. So overall, if these are being accumulated or distributed, it kind of impacts the market and is a good reflection of the risk appetite of the market in general. And just like the indexes, are we above or below rising 21 EMA? Recently, we've broken below after some failed breakouts, failed pivot moves. We've broken below it. Potential rally forming here, but that remains to be seen. And we're nowhere near reclaiming the 21 EMA just yet on Apple. Microsoft has been a downtrend for even longer, but is maybe closer to breaking back above it. Meta was a little bit stronger in this area, but still broke below the 21 EMA back down here. And these type of things that you pick up by looking at it every day will give you a sense of the rotation, the weakness in the market, and help you exit and protect, your hard-earned gains a lot easier and a lot faster by, following the trend of these key players. And Google, you had the gap down on big volume. That was a key warning sign, and then fall through to the downside and trend. Amazon downtrend. Nvidia, been choppy for quite some time. Stage 3 in terms of stage analysis, and just choppier, wider and looser pattern. And overall in a downtrend recently, although now testing that 21 EMA. Tesla downtrend since this area right here. And you can see, not even touching the 21 EMA just yet. We'll see if we can curl up and finally test that. But in order to start a new uptrend, what we have to do is form out, have this flatten out, and have a pop and break out through that, and then start and establish a trend just like we did in this area. You can see we were below the 21 EMA. We needed a pop above it and then transition to an uptrend until around this area. So these indicators, and really simply just using the 21 EMA, gives you a great sense of what's the intermediate term trend. And then the stage analysis indicator gives you a good sense of the longer term trend as well. And you can see protected you during this decline, and is just starting to show warning signs as well. I started a stage 3 warning sign back here before things really deteriorated very quickly. So going through the market indexes, going through the mega caps gives you a great overall sense of the risk appetite of institutions and what is the longer term trend and deciding trend in the markets. Down here, I have a thematic ETFs performance chart. This basically plots the performance from the open, and you can change this to whatever data point you like. But I like seeing, basically of these thematic ETFs where, for instance, KWEB is China technology, which ones were strongest from the open on a particular day. And you can scroll down to see the weakest from the open. Today was kind of a wide range up day pretty much, and a lot of stuff was rallying, but tracking this on a daily basis gives you a sense of what theme was strongest that day. And if we go over to this other dashboard here, I basically have this set up for, again, this is that same plot, thematic ETFs, and then price percent change from the open. So how do these themes perform on a daily basis? And on the right gives me a sense of how are themes performing over a 20-day basis. And this shows me the existing leading themes. They'll be near the top here. The weakest themes will be down at the bottom. And then this is where I'll start to notice trends change as new themes kind of emerge, take charge, and then I'll watch them kind of climb the ranks here towards the leading groups up here. But right now, a lot of minor related commodity type names are up here. KWEB, China Technology has been leading. And this will kind of fluctuate based on what is the strongest theme in the market, where's the rotation going. So there's a really good handy visual to conceptualize rotation and track the leading themes. If you just have 5 minutes, you can just create this dashboard, plot thematic ETFs, which this is a preset. If you go to watchlist presets, thematic ETFs, top traders, and then this is the list right here, Richard Moglen ETF list. You can load this. And then very quickly in just 30 seconds, you can see up top, all right, here are the leading ones right here, gold related ones, IAC, KWEB, PPH, and gives you a sense of kind of what's acting well in the current environment. So again, on a daily basis, I look at this and compare that to the existing leading ones over here. And this takes 5 minutes to set up on a dashboard, and I'll show you guys how to do that at the end of this video. But the last thing I kind of wanted to say again here is, this is a great overall picture of the market health. You get the charts of the indexes, mega caps, themes going on right here, breadth indicators. So it gives you a nice kind of holistic perspective. But what I definitely want to urge you guys is, this is a lot of stuff to keep track of. So you definitely want to eliminate first and simplify your process to make sure it fits the time you have for your routine first and foremost, but also how you trade. I like the 21 EMA. Maybe, as I said, use the 5 SMA, or you like the 10 EMA. Adjust that to your charts and set them up how you like it. Maybe you don't want the stage analysis indicator. Maybe you want something else. Feel free to do that. But again, make sure that this thing, whatever you set up, is something that you can review quickly, makes intuitive sense to you, and gives you a great holistic perspective of the market environment. So that's kind of what I want to say there when it comes to setting up a market monitor dashboard, which definitely I think you should. So with that said, now that we've covered the different elements, let's actually go ahead and show you how quick and easy it is to set something up just like this. So let's go ahead over to a new dashboard by clicking the drop down menu. And by the way, we have a lot of dashboard presets here, which can give you some good ideas, some heat maps. Actually, that's one thing I do want to mention before I show how to do it. This is another way of how I sense market health and rotation by basically plotting the S&P 500, or I also like plotting the Deepvue leader screen, and then noticing, what themes. So this kind of shows the strongest stocks on a particular day, or percent change from the open. And if there's a particular group standing out, recently insurance, biotech, China technology, as I mentioned, have been popping up all over. So BABA will be up 5% and LI will be up 3% when everything else is red on a day. And when you see a whole group standing out like that, that is telling you that there's rotation into the group and that you want to pay attention for, future buy points if that group continues to lead. And we're not just looking for strength on one day, we're looking for persistent strength over the course of many days and weeks, because that's how long these trends tend to play out. So this is a great way to identify strength, especially on a very bad day in the markets. The strongest themes will be standing out like a sore thumb. And again, you just want to keep tracking that and gather evidence every single day about what themes are acting best in the market. So that's how I use the heat map. And I've got set up where, I can quickly review stocks, their chart as well. After I notice, some outliers, WGS down today from the open, DOX down today from the open, Futu down from the open. And again, you can adjust these data points. And we've got tutorials specifically on these apps, which are super helpful. And a really strong suit of Deepvue is all the customizability that you can do with a dashboard. So let's actually show you how to create it. And let's basically create this same market monitor dashboard. So let's go ahead and click create new dashboard. We'll call it MM tutorial. Click save. And we get this blank screen. And to open up the apps menu, you can either click this button or you can always click this icon here. And you can see the different elements that we can drag in. So basically, again, we had a chart. We had a watch list of the market indexes, a watch list of the mega caps, and then we had a performance chart down here. And we need to make a little bit more space. If you're unable to drag something in, it means you need to make a little bit more space. And let's go ahead and make this smaller. There we go. And then you can always adjust the sizing afterwards by grabbing the corners. And we'll go ahead and do that. Move this over here. It's really easy to grab and resize. And you can see these are just basic watch lists right now. Let's go ahead and select what was up here, the market indexes. So let's go to watch list presets and do the index ETFs. There we go. We've got that set up already. Let's go to watch list presets and let's do the mega caps. There we go. So you go to presets, Deepvue, and then mega caps. We've also, by the way, got a lot of our model book stocks in here. So if you want to view top performers going back previous years, you can go ahead and take a look at those charts. And let's go ahead again, Deepvue mega caps. There you go. So that's already set up. And right now, this is the Deepvue universe. Let's go ahead and change that over to watchlist presets, top traders, Richard Moglen ETF list. Give that a click. And right now, the data point is price percent change today. This is good. I like doing price percent change from the open to eliminate kind of how gaps impact things, because I like seeing, what stocks were accumulated throughout the day. But you could easily leave it at this and kind of get the same picture. But I personally just like doing price percent change from the open. So I type in that and do price percent change from the open. It adjusts it slightly, but again, it's going to kind of show the same thing at the end of the day. Then we've got our chart here, and we can open this up. And I've got basically my market monitor dashboard saved as an indicator template. So I just kind of go ahead and load that up, and this is the one I use again. But if we just kind of eliminated the indicators, I'll show you how to add them. This is basically the same chart. You basically set up the moving averages how you'd like. To add the stage analysis, we go up here, type in stage analysis. By default, it adds to the main chart, which can be how you set it up. I personally like to go over here, hover over it, go to the three dots, move to new pane above, and this just gives me the same kind of information, but at least still allows me to analyze a price action, so it's not overwhelming everything. And then to add the breadth, I already showed you guys, but let's do stocks above, new pane, and then let's go here and do net for net new highs, new lows. And by default, it's NYSE. I personally like doing it to USA. So there you have it. In about a minute or two, we've got our market monitor dashboard, just like how I had set up. And again, tweak this to how you want. Make this as useful to you as possible. Basically, whether you have 5 minutes or 10 minutes in Deepvue, you can easily set up a dashboard that allows you to monitor markets really, really effectively, determine what the overwhelming trend and environment is like. And if I had one tip, again, my key takeaway for you guys is to use the 21 EMA. If we're above a rising 21 EMA, probably a decent time to be more aggressive, swing trade, position trade. But when we break below it, especially viciously, that's a time to really, be on guard, maybe lower exposure a little bit, and just track your positions that much more closely and make sure that you don't get caught in a steep drawdown like we've had previously. Overall, again, once we get above a rising 21 EMA, we'll start a new uptrend based on that market cycle methodology. But until then, less is more for kind of my style, and we'll have to see what happens. The last piece that I do want to mention is, in addition to kind of high level analysis, today we talked about market indexes. We also talked about the performance charts, which are basically looking at sectors and thematic ETFs to see where the money is flowing. I also, on a daily basis, always go to the Deepvue leader screen and then just spacebar through after sorting by either industry group, which gives you a nice grouping to see how different industry groups are performing. For instance, aerospace and defense, a lot of these, first of all, are acting well, recent gaps, trending nicely, moving higher. Or you can always just go ahead and clear sorting, sort by absolute strength 1 month, and then you've got the strongest stocks at the top here. And by doing so, and I kind of note to myself, what groups are showing up again and again, what groups are trending nicely, what groups are breaking below moving averages, what groups are gapping up. And that gives you kind of a stock level or bottoms up approach to also analyze the market. So there's two different ways, ways of thinking. There's high level analysis, top down analysis, and then there's bottoms up analysis. I personally do a mixture of both and kind of get that holistic perspective of the market health, because sometimes the market indexes mask a lot of weakness. Sometimes the stocks, break down a lot earlier than the indexes, so it gives you kind of an early warning signal. I would encourage you to kind of create a routine that allows you to do both. But again, if your time is limited, the top-down analysis is definitely easier to review, and it'll do a great job of giving you that high-level overview of the market health. So hopefully this video was helpful. Let us know if you have any questions down below. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in future videos. Take care.